Hello, hello, fabulous folks. My name is Ariel. I am the Sassy Dragon, and today we are going to be talking about something that I love to talk about, which is perfume. In particular, the perfume known as Alien. Some people call it Alien. I've heard people pronounce it Alien, if you want to sound really fancy. But this is a fragrance that was created by the French fashion designer Thierry Mugler. It was released originally in 2005, and it has had an interesting sort of up and down history. I will say that I'm a bit late probably to the party on this. This is going to talk about the history of Alien, Thierry Mugler, the reformulation, the acquisition from the Clarins Fragrance Group over to L'Oreal. So we're going to get a little bit into this. This is not a perfume that I was originally attracted to in the early 2000s. I think my perfume of the time at that point was Givenchy, the Very Irresistible. I was in love with that one, so I really wasn't wearing a whole lot else at the time. Of course, Thierry Mugler was a really amazing, kind of fascinating and unusual personality. He really was, and he was definitely a pioneer. The creation of Angel in 1992 was certainly different on the mass perfume market because it was one of the very first gourmands. It was very, very different. It's not probably as different today because we are living in a time of huge mass production of gourmand fragrances, and so there's quite a bit of that, saturating the market. But I would still say that the original Angel, it still is very unique. It's a love it or hate it. I would say most Thierry Mugler fragrances are that way. They're very polarizing. There's not a lot of middle ground. People either love them or they are obsessed with them, or they hate them and they claim that, oh, it gives me a headache and it's the worst thing ever. I would say out of most of the Thierry Mugler universe, fragrance-wise, I would say Alien is probably the safest fragrance he ever created. It is the safest blind buy because it isn't very complex. It is a very nice perfume. It's very pleasant. It's a really good fragrance, but I wouldn't say it's all that odd. Now, we're going to get into the acquisition between Clarins and L'Oreal. The notes in Alien originally are jasmine, amber, and woodsy notes. Probably a bit of sandalwood, different woodsy notes in the base. Now the new Alien, this is the brand new one. I'm going to bring out the bottle. I literally just bought this from Sephora. I got this just, a couple weeks ago. Here is the box that comes with that. So this is what it currently is. This is as it sits, being produced by L'Oreal, right? They acquired them, I believe it was April 2020. That acquisition was complete. I looked online. I tried to find out why that purchase was made, why that transition was made. I couldn't find a lot of the why, just a lot of the what. Here's what happened. L'Oreal purchased the rights to Thierry Mugler, to Mugler Fragrance, and fashion. They got all of it. And so this is the way the new Alien bottle looks. I was able to go online to eBay and I found an old bottle of Alien. People who know more about searching serial numbers than I do could probably find exactly what year, but I am guessing that this is a 2016 to 2019 era, right? This is a tester bottle, was an official tester bottle. And the way that, of course, you can find out where this was made is by simply looking at the back. In very small print, you will see manufactured for CFG. That's the Clarins Fragrance Group. But as you can see, guys, this is a different bottle altogether. You can actually also see the juice in this. The perfume itself has, this very sort of like a little more ambery dark color, whereas this perfume is almost transparent. It looks, just see-through. This could be partly because this may have aged a bit, right? So it has, the color has deepened. And that could be due to, a lot of different things, partly the age, partly the ingredients that are used, right? So I'm going to spray both of these on, and I'm going to tell you what I think about both of them. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put the original one, the old one, the Clarins formula on the left, and I'm going to spray the new one on the right. There's a lot of controversy about which one of these is better. Most people feel the old one is better. And I will say that, you know, I feel that a Mugler fragrance, the essence of a Mugler fragrance should be that it's a little bit audacious. It's a little bit like boom in your face, because all of his fragrances, like I said, are very polarizing. Aura is extremely polarizing. It's so funny how much hate that perfume has gotten, but I tell you, every time I wear that thing, people are like, what is that wonderful smell? You know, to me it smells amazing. Like, it has that gorgeous deep vanilla, that strange kind of green, fruity, herbal, and it's not like anything else. To me, that's why Angel, Aura, they're definitely more a Mugler. I personally have not tried Womanity. That seems to be another very polarizing fragrance. Some people love it, some people hate it. I've tried Angel Muse. I like that one as well. But let's get into what they smell like to me. Okay, so this is the original. Put on the left. And that's the new one on the right. On the first smell of this, okay, the new one is sharper smelling to me. Definitely. The old one has a rounder vibe to the jasmine, if that makes sense. It's smoother. It's not as sharp. It's almost, I almost want to call the new one a little bit more green. I almost want to call it a little more green, but not really green, if that makes sense. Neither one is bad in my opinion. You know, there's almost, now I smell this again. In the new one, there is almost a bit of like a green tea vibe. Why am I getting that? Jasmine green tea. Very interesting. And with the old one, not so much, not that vibe. It's a smoother, creamier, smoothed out, like rounded jasmine on the old one. The new one is definitely like, it's spikier. And I've sprayed these. Yeah, total jasmine green tea. I don't know why that is hitting me right now, because I've sprayed this before. I've smelled them both, you know, together before, but not for this video. Wow, that's interesting. So as we talk, you know, these will settle down a little bit, and we'll be able to play with them a little more. It's interesting. Now, to me, I don't have an extreme polarized love or hatred between either of these. They both smell good. They both smell nice. I've had some good compliments wearing these the last couple weeks, for sure. You know, I've never been a huge like white floral person, because I think they often end up smelling kind of like a shampoo or just a really nice body product. But I do like the simplicity of Alien. I've got to say, I like that very just, you know, because this is a beautiful fragrance that you can layer. It's extremely versatile. I don't think you could offend anybody with this. Like, you could wear it to the office, you could wear it on a date, you could wear it for a sexy romantic night. You could really wear this anywhere. This is an extremely versatile perfume. The only thing that I will say about that, because it is more safe, it is more versatile, it doesn't feel entirely like a Mugler to me, because it's not as daring. It's not as punchy as his other perfumes. But they are beautiful. You know, this is just, to me, a beautiful classic. It has that sensuality, the sexiness, because to me, jasmine, of course, is a famed aphrodisiac. It always has been in perfumery. And when you get that really pure hit of jasmine, it's like, whew, it's very carnal, right? It's very sensual. It has that lusty, romantic, passionate vibe. And I love amber, you know. I love the sort of sandalwoody dry down. And as this settles more, let's smell it again. I do not know why these are hitting me like jasmine green tea today, guys. But they really are. However, I would say these are beautiful. You know, to me, like, you kind of sort of can't go wrong. I think that if you really truly are enamored and in love with the old one, you will probably be disappointed in the newer one, because this to me has a more fresh, this feels like a plant just plucked off the vine. but this one feels a little smoother, a little more voluptuous, a little more sensuous. That's the difference between. Both have that jasmine sexiness, but I would say the old one has a deeper, you know, more intense. It's a shame that they couldn't keep this formulation. You could almost remarket this as alien intense, right? And you could keep this one as just like that fresher variation of it. You know, I'm not so enamored of either one that I can't, like, you know, be objective about it, thankfully. And there are some really good articles on Fragrantica you can look up, and they will take you step by step through the different stages of this fragrance. But it is a bit of an end of an era. I would say that's what's a little bit, or maybe a lot, sad about the acquisition of, you know, Mugler over from Clarins to L'Oreal, is because, you know, Thierry Mugler just passed away this year, January 23rd, 2022. And it does feel like the passing of an era. It's sad, you know, because I was a kid, a young teenager in the 90s, and it's like, oh, you know, I can remember, like, what a revolution, you know, Angel was. And so it really is like the passing of a torch, and it's really a shame. The other thing, too, and, you know, it's always a little bit of, you know, people wonder, well, why do they reformulate? Why did they do that? Do they just want to, you know, let down their loyal customers and things like that? Sometimes, you know, there is literally that, like, cheapening of, you know, the process, and they want to use less of the essential perfume blend and sell it for, you know, the same price or more. So there can be that feeling of like they're just getting greedy. Sometimes that's true, and sometimes it's more than just that. Sometimes it is literally that the raw ingredients are not the same or not available in perfumery. That is true. And so I have heard rumors. I don't know if these are true. You can leave your comments below. But I have heard people say that a big reason that the new one has changed up so much is because things like the cashmeran or the type of jasmine are either no longer available or were only available to the Clarins Group, and L'Oreal does not have access to the same ingredients, and they're probably doing their best to, you know, keep it as much the same as they can, but they can't completely replicate from the old one, right? I was able to find this on eBay pretty easily, that old, you know, formulation. So you may be able to find that still if you're interested in it. I think that the reason that this has still been a thing, even though this acquisition was completed 2 years ago, is that, you know, a big bottle of fragrance, especially if you're not wearing the same thing every day, you know, people are running out of their old bottle of Alien and they're going, okay, I need to get a new bottle. And then they get this and they're like, doesn't smell quite the same. Or it doesn't last as long, like the longevity. I've also heard that that's a thing. The longevity is not as good. So those are kind of the things that go into, you know, decision making. It's the availability of the ingredients, etc. You know, I think it's kind of interesting how the bottles even really sort of reflect the change, right? You know, it's like the old Alien, there's big shoulders, and it's like, boom, here I am. And the new one's a little more like, yeah, you know, I'm slumping off a little bit. So that's my take on some of this. Definitely leave your comments and you know, ideas in the description box, because, you know, you probably, you know, people out there know more about this than I do. I just wanted to make a quick little video talk about some of the changes, the differences. Let's smell this again before we sign off here. That's the old one. See, right now I'm not smelling a whole lot of difference, but I will say, if I had to pick, I do like the old one a little more. Just is the truth. Just because the top note, it's, you know, the top note on the new one's a little sharper, but the dry down, that's where it hits. As it starts to calm down a little bit, this one retains more of the top. This one is a little bit more well-rounded out in the base. So yeah, I have to say, guys, I do prefer the older one a little more. I think people that are like brand new to Alien won't really know much of the difference. Younger people buying it for the first time, etc. They're just going to be like, oh, this is a nice little jasmine perfume. So, it's not that it's bad. The reformulation is not bad. It's just not as good. That's my take on it. So, if you can get a hold of an old bottle, I would recommend doing that. Enjoy it for what it is while you can. Unfortunately, it will not be available after all of the older formulations have been sold. And so enjoy it, guys. Thank you for your reviews. Thank you for your comments. And I'll be talking to you again soon. Take care.